in the spot on the killing beat. 1, yo, 2, you, 1, 2, 3, yo.